Okay, good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing? So while we are on this call, let me be creating our React app that we would use for this class. The reason why I want to be creating React app is because every class day, so that it actually sinks into our memory. So for you to start a React application, go to your command prompt, and search for your command prompt, or you don't need to do that. You can open your VS Code. Yeah, you can just open your VS Code and type on the terminal. I will show that shortly. So when you come on your command prompt, all you need to do is write npx create react app. Simple. Npx create react app space the name of the app. So the name of this app is CareerEx front end. And when you type it like this, so npx space create minus react minus app space CareerEx front end. This is by your own choice. You can give it any name. If someone tells you build an online store for me, maybe you can give it the name of the online store. Then you now press enter. You now wait, hold on. It tends to load up and do its thing. You give it time. So you can see creating a new app in this destination folder and path. So just leave it. So let us just minimize that this while we talk about what we have for today. Now, React, a JavaScript library. How does React work? React works through the use of components. And what is a component? A component is a reusable piece of UI in React, like a button, a header, a profile card. Components are usually written as functions. Let me go over that again. A component is a reusable piece of UI. The meaning of UI means user interface. User interface. You can see everything on this page, right? You can see Canva, you can see everything. It is called a UI. A UI is called, in short form of UI is user interface. Simple as ABC. So in React, we write or we create components through the use of functions. We create this component through the use of functions. Now, how do you create and export a component? How do you create, how do you export, how do you create and export these functions? We do that through the use of this in front of you. The reason why I had to do this now in plain is because most persons are confused. So I have to demonstrate this in detail. Now, when creating a component or a page, now let me not use the word component. Let me use the word pages. On websites you see different pages. Each of those pages in React we call them components. Yes, we call them components. We also call, for instance, there's a button, there's a login form, we can still call them components. And what is component? A component is a reusable piece of UI in React, like a button, header, or profile card. Components are usually written as function. So for you to be able to write those components, you don't use your normal HTML pattern you know. In React, we use functions to wire those pages up, or whatever component you choose to create. We utilize the use of functions. The functions you were taught some weeks back, how to create a function in JavaScript, that is what we use this time around. But HTML is not really out of it entirely. You can see inside of here that we have a div tag, a division tag, open and close, a h1 tag, and a paragraph tag. You can see everything completely, right? So it's not out of the game. It's still within the confines of React. Um, so guys, please, it's very simple. I want to carry on with this with you people even beyond when this class will end. I want you guys to be doing things. I want you guys to take unpaid jobs. I want you guys to be able to be employed. This React can change your life. No jokes. React can change your life. React can give you a living. React, even if you don't want to do it as a full-time, um, but you can actually do it as a side hustle. You can build web pages with React and get paid. So please don't relent. Don't trash it out. Don't be discouraged. Hard things would always pay off. So please, let's put in our best. So you can see that we use in this is an example of a component. The name of this component is called welcome. The name of this component is called welcome. And we created, what is it returning? It is returning a UI called welcome to my app. This is a simple component. That's what it will display on the page. When you create the component, you export the component so that you can be able to use it in other components interchangeably. Now, let me explain what is happening. I've already explained, but let me just give us an insight. So, what is really happening? The function welcome defines the component. You must always begin with the function and then space, the name of the function. The name of the function must always tally with the name you use in creating the file, the component file. So, the component file name is welcome.jsx or whatever. You must always use that as the same thing while creating the function. I hope that's clear enough. Now, when you define the component, you return, what are you returning? What are you returning? You tell React what to show on the screen, and then you export the default function. This allows the component to be used elsewhere, just like I said. Before I go on, let's check our. All right, you can see our app is ready to use. Everything has been created. You see, everything has been created. Creating a new React app, everything has been created. So now let us open our project. So I will cd into it, cd CareerEx. So that's it. You can see it. Is this not lovely enough? So you can see that our CareerEx front-end React application has loaded up. Just to explain the folder structure, everything has been provided, including CSS, including HTML, everything in one package. That's why React is actually a thing. As of 2023, React was the most employed, like people with React, people that know React were the most employed set of people. Yes, yes. 2024 it was Python. 2023, 2022 it was React. It's still in vogue. People still employ people. So take it serious. Now, every single thing you want is currently here. What are node modules? Node modules are like the behind the scene, powerhouse that power up the React application. They are like the It's just like a car. A car has engines, it has a gearbox, it has lots of things that power up the car to move. So the node modules is actually what is responsible for it. It's the powerhouse of the React app. We have the public folder, which I explained all of this in the last class. The public folder includes the HTML file. The public folder includes the HTML file. Remember, I told you guys HTML is like the skeleton of everything you're doing. It's like your bone structure that enables you to run, walk, sit, do things. So HTML must be available. It also, the public folder can also include the logo of the project and pictures, as the case may be. We now have the source folder. And what does this source folder contain? The source folder contains the JavaScript file part. It also includes the styling. It also embodies the CSS file. It also embodies the app.js and all of that, and also logo if you want to, and some setup test.js, which there's no need going deep into that. But make sure you remember this. The source folder is also where your components would also be created into. I would show us that shortly. We also have the package log.json and the package.json. Those are like the files that carry the definitions of what is being installed and what is running. Then readme.md, like the file that has a proper description of the web application. I believe we can proceed from there. Now, I've created my React app. What should I do next? I'll create my component folder. So I'll go on the source folder, click on it, and then click on new folder, and then click on save it as component. I missed an M. Component folder. So this component folder now would have every single thing I want to do on my web app. So you can see I've created my component file, my component folder. Now inside of it, let us create our first component. What will be our first component for just this class? So let's just create a file, a random file. Let's just create careerx.js. So you can see we have created our first component called careerx.jsx. Yes, this is how React works. We have created our first careerx.jsx. Please take notes because you would be doing this in this new week. You'll be embarking on a project and you do all I am saying. Now that we've created our first component, remember, don't just go into your source folder and then just go there and create career.jsx. No. First of all, create the folder called component and then go further to create a what? A component inside of it. Please. So let me clear this. We don't need this. In our last class, I also talked about how the app.js is like a bridge that links two places together, like two cities. Let's say there are two cities, but it's a bridge that actually links them up together. So your app.js is like that part, that you must, is like going to meet a man, but you must pass through his personal assistant. That's what the app.js does, and that's what it does. So before I go forward, who has questions? I know we all have questions, but we don't ask questions. What's wrong? I might scare you or something. Before I go forward, let me take in questions.
I have questions.
Go on.
Okay, sir. So to install the React, like to use it using that CMD, do we have to use data?
Yes, so yes. Please. Thank you.
Okay, because my own has been loading since.
Ah, you stayed there. Oh. Our last class. Were you in the last class on Thursday?
No, sir.
On Thursday we're loading. Almost, you should have a very good internet. Oh. You can't just
Okay,
create the file without internet, please. If not, to stay there without doing anything. So, does
okay,
anyone
sir.
have any question before we move forward?
I have a question.
Go on. What's your name?
Okay, it's Stephanie.
Go on. What's your name?
Stephanie.
Okay, go on, Stephanie.
So my question is, how do you open the React file that you
How,
create from?
okay, how did I open it?
Yes, I know the first time we had to go to our this thing files,
Yes,
then
code.
found the folder and opened it. But you just typed a command something and then it opened this time, so I didn't get that.
Okay, let me show you again. Let's get
Yes,
this again. Oh. So you know where your command prompt is, right?
yes,
When you open the command prompt and it's like this, let me go up, let me scroll up. Now, when my command prompt opened, I typed npx space. Let me try if I can zoom in. If I can zoom in. So I typed npx space create minus react minus app, then space CareerX front end, and I pressed enter. It now started reading, creating a new React app in so this. Installing packages allowed it to read. All this takes a while, depending on how fast your internet is. And you can see it's installed, and then success created CareerX front end. It will help you create file and all of that. So when it was done, what I did is there's a shortcut in doing this. Now the
yes,
shortcut is your React app has been created. Oh. You can just easily go on open VS Code and then go to the path to which. What I mean is you now open VS Code. Let me open VS Code. Let me open a new window. So this is like a new window. You now start going to look for where that folder is. You now click on open folder. Then I'll now go to local, because that's where this thing was created. Local. I'll now go and look for CareerX front end. CareerX front end. Okay, no, it was on users inside HP. Yes, so I'll start scrolling, and look at it. CareerX front end created by 3:26 p.m. 17th of May. I'll now tap on it and then select folder. This is long pattern. This is long pattern. So on your command prompt there and then, all you need to do is just first of all cd into the path, so that it catches where the folder is. When you cd into the path, which I did up, I did cd space CareerX front end, which is the name of the web app I'm dealing with. When you now do that, all you do is type code space full stop. What this does is it's a shortcut form of command that opens up the project on your code editor. Is that understandable?
yes, I thank you.
Okay, no problem. So it's not
Um,
difficult. Don't worry, you can go through the recording and still do it on your own.
okay, yes. Then what if you now create it from your terminal in VS Code?
Yeah, on
Okay,
the
then
VS Code terminal.
yes,
On so it's still if you create it, if you for instance, let me open a terminal here. This is your VS Code when you open it fresh. Let me so this is new terminal. So you can see So you can see as I wait for it. So this is like a fresh. Now, once you're done creating it and it's created. I don't want to create a new project, but let me just give you an idea. Once you type npx create React app, the name of your project, and it creates, then all you need to do is also do that cd space the app. Shey you get. Since you're on VS Code here, you now come to this place and press open folder, and then go and look for where the React folder has been created. Is that understandable?
Yeah, thank you.
Just come to the side. Once you click here, it will tell you open folder. Then go and look for where it has been created. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you very much.
No problem. Does anyone have any question before we move forward? Does anyone have any question before we move further? Okay, oh, nobody has questions.
Hello,
Means,
sir.
eh?
Good afternoon, sir.
What's the issue?
Sir, please, I was not in the last class on Thursday, so I really don't know the updates of the
Go and
class.
watch the recording. It's available on the group. In fact, what I even did on Thursday is what I'm redoing again so that we understand it over and over again.
Okay, sir. I'll do that, sir. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
no problem. It's totally fine. So let's continue, right? Let's go back. Where is our So this is it. This is our app.js. These are our components. These are our app.js. Now, CareerEx.jsx. Let us do one simple. Let's just do little stuff. So I'll come here in order to save time. I can also do a shortcut. No, there's no. Let me, before I show all of that. Let's do this first. So I'll copy this. Let me copy this and paste here CareerX front end. Now, this is not needed. It's not needed at all. All right. Okay. Now, we just, I think, to make it, let me not confuse us. All right. When you create a function, this is a function. This function, the work of this function is to create a UI. Let me carry everything close so it is properly understood. When you create a function, right, you must export that function. The reason for exporting the function is so it can be displayed on the page. Now we've created a component, but this component is as good as useless because being on its own. The reason for React is so you can have speed. How do you have that speed? By sectioning. It's by okay, let me use this example. You know what we talk about? You know that saying when they talk about division of labor. You know the concept of division of labor. Division of labor is if there's a task to do, instead of 10 of us to go inside and start doing that task, why don't we share the task and make do of what we can do? So we share the task into little section. This particular task here, this particular task here, this particular task here. You will now assign everybody to each of the small tasks we've divided. You do this particular one, you do this particular one. That's how React works. React library works in that particular pattern. So instead of having just one file for HTML, one file for CSS, one file for JavaScript, React is a JavaScript library. So each of the files, component file, can do JavaScript doings, So just create each of those files. That's how speed happens. So for the heading, let's say usually for the heading where you have home, about us, contact, and all of that, you can just create one component file for that one and export it wherever you want to use it. If you want to have a login page, a login form that takes your customer details, you just create a component file for that one. If anything you just want to do, you create a file for it, and all you need to do is just call it up accordingly. I hope that makes sense. So now, this is how to create a React component file, which I've just shown us. Create a component folder inside the source folder, and then create your file inside of it. Now we've created this file called CareerEx.js. What is now that next thing we'll do? You go on to now import React from React. This import means, okay, see, React, this is actually your child, come and be present here. That's what this line of code means. Import React, like everything I'm writing here, I'm still under you, I'm not independent, come and be present. It's like an exam going on, and invigilator must be present. That's what is happening. So you must always import React into that component file. Then the next thing you go on to do is create your function. Create your function. You cannot have multiple functions in a component file. You can have though, but not like there must be the major one that returns the UI. Yes, there can be other sub-function, but there must be a major function that returns the UI. You cannot return two things at the same time, else you have error. So you must always have this one thing at a particular time. Now, inside the return, what does the return do? The return is going to return what is going to be displayed on the UI. Very important. Whatever is inside this return is what will be displayed on the UI. And when you're using your return, look at the bracket that is being used. The bracket on the 9 button and the bracket on the 0 button. Don't forget. Look at how everything is structured. Now, once you're done with whatever you want to choose to write, make sure to export the function. You can see CareerEx, CareerEx. It is what has been exported. Let me go and import it inside our app.js. So I'll come here and write import CareerEx. So you can see imports. Okay. Okay. All right. So you can see import CareerEx from then the path to which the CareerEx, you can see. So this CareerEx now is found inside this component. You can see that we trace it down to that particular path. So let me use it. All right. So you can see I've used it on our app.js. If I run this React application now, it will display. So let me come back inside the CareerEx. Make sure you export it so that it can be used on it, so it can actually be used. Make sure to export it. If you don't export it, it won't be used. So let us let's run our app and see what the output will be. So I'll write npm space start. Npm meaning node package manager, then space start. So you wait for it to run. Just keep calm. It will run by itself. So we'll now wait. All right, so you can see it. Welcome to my app. This is a simple component. We can even go inside the, let me bring this down. We go inside there and say, welcome to CareerEx. Welcome to CareerEx front-end class. Front-end class. This class holds every weekend. This class holds every weekend. Sorry. You can see you don't need to press Ctrl S, you don't need to do too much. It automatically updates ASAP. That's how quick and efficient React is. Welcome to CareerEx front-end class. This class holds every weekend. Now, is there anybody that is still confused with what we have talked about now so far? Is there anybody that's okay? What's your
Yes.
confusion?
Okay. So I want to ask, can you go over to the other to the VS Code?
Okay.
Yeah, in this app.js, initially when we started, there are things that you cleared out.
Yes, yes. Let me bring them back. Let me bring them back. Just a second though. I am sorry I did not talk about it. Before I allow you go on. So continue. Continue. You can continue and let me hear.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to know, why did you clear it out, and what if
Okay,
we
so
decide to leave it?
yeah, you can decide to leave it, but it does not have any business with us. What you're building does not have any correlation to it. You get the point. Let me go on our output and now show and now show. So this is when you create any React application, by default, this is what will show. React does this for everybody. In fact, if you do it on your own end, this is what will show when you npm static, like when you run your project for an output, this is what will show. This is like a default, they're kind of default saying, okay, welcome to our technology, use it and enjoy it. So I don't need all of this. I don't need any of this now, so I'll clear it. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like what will I use in real-time example? What will I use? I cannot really find an example, but all those things we get to buy and we have like almost the same thing inside, but we tend to clear them, but we don't use all those things. We just want to use the product itself. You get me? And so that's just
yes.
just don't. It's not something serious. So I cleared it because I'm not using these things. It does not. You can see that as I cleared it, CareerEx GSX is no longer showing anymore because it's not passed inside here. So since I want to use my own, I'll have to go inside and clear everything. Then clear this logo. I don't need their logo. I would now I'll now import my CareerEx and I'll come here and yeah, that's it. So if I go back now, you can see we are back to welcome to CareerEx front end class. Does it make sense now?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So
And one
go
other
on.
thing, I was a bit confused with this function app, like return div class app. So I thought we would just pass only the career X that we did.
No. Okay, to just write this H1, welcome to CareerEx.
No, in the app.jx.
Okay, to write this, to write whatever we wrote in the CareerEx here.
Yes, yes.
No, 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 no. That's the beauty about. Now let's go back to the definition of React. See the definition here. Just a quick one. A component is a reusable piece of UI in React, like a button, header, or profile card. Components are usually written as functions. Once you write it one time, let me show you. Once you write it one time, like the project you guys were embarked on this new week, once you write it one time, you don't need to write it again. So for instance, if I write this thing, if I put it, you can see I've put it like 1, 2, 3, 4 times inside the app.js. Inside the app.js. I don't need to be writing everything I wrote inside the JS and CareerEx.jsx inside this app.js. No, it's not needed. Why? Why am I doing all of that? Is it not stress? So you can see it has appeared 4 times. So anywhere in your
Okay.
web app you want to use it, just on the go, enjoy yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes, 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 it does.
Okay, one more question and then we move over to React hooks. Who has question? Who has question?
I have a question. I have a question, sir.
Go on.
Still on this app.js, like I'm still trying to understand the function because you
The
already
function, the
have,
use of it, like the usefulness of it.
yes, of the app.js. Because you already
Okay,
explained it, but I'm not following in this app.js.
okay. What's your name?
Stephanie,
All right. You know, a womb actually was used to bring you into this world, right?
yes.
Exactly. And you have your parents. Your parents were responsible for bringing you into this world. Now, actually visualize yourself, you yourself, as a component, like a CareerEx.jsx now, like you're a component file. Just have that picture in your mind. Then the womb in your mom's belly, imagine it as app.js. Then your parents as React. Just have that mental picture. So through the use of the womb, your mom's womb, you were able to be brought into this world. Do you now have a glimpse of what I'm saying now? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I said my network was having issues, so I stopped hearing. I can hear now.
Okay, okay. So should I recap again? Did you hear what I said?
Yes, but not fully. But I heard it. I heard it. I don't know if I heard the last
Okay,
part, but I heard the parents and the womb illustration you
exactly.
gave.
So it's very simple. Imagine a bridge and there are two countries, let's say Nigeria and America, but that bridge actually links them together. Now imagine React on the other side, then the component file on the other side. But what links them up is the app.js. Does it make sense? Do you understand now?
Okay, yes, I think I understand.
Don't worry. When you do your assignment this new week, you would understand. You guys will build a static page so that you would have clear understanding. But just have that picture in your mind
Sir,
going
please, I have
forward.
a question.
What's your question?
Okay, so the app.js, is it basically for calling the function, like the CareerX
Yes,
function?
yes, 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 yes,
Okay.
yes. Okay, okay. Who has question?
I have, sir.
Go on.
Now, the NPM stats that you wrote, you can write it from anywhere, right? It must not be on the
No, you
career.
cannot write it from anywhere. Please, someone should help me answer him so that I know
So it
if
must be on the app.js to write it.
No, you can. It must not be on the app.js. Please, can someone help him? Help me answer him so that let it not be like I'm the only one
On the
that knows.
terminal.
No, I know it's on
Okay,
the terminal. So must
thank
okay, even if
Must be in
your
the root
terminal.
folder.
you can see. You can close it to still run.
Okay, that's what
Let
I
me
wanted to know. Thank you, sir.
as simple as that. You don't need to be on any app.js, so please, please, please. All right, we are making progress. So I have closed that, and let me go into my CareerEx again. Now, React hooks. I did not do a slide for that. I did not do a slide for that. What are React hooks? What are React hooks? It's a very fun. It's actually going to be confusing, but don't worry, I'm with you. And what does hook do? What is actually hooks? Hooks are actually ways we carry out different activities on our web application, on our React web application. Hooks are different ways or activities. The reason why I don't want to use technical languages so that you don't get confused, but at least you know when you hear activity, you know that okay, something that is being performed though is an activity. And someone says an activity, you know that this thing happens. So hooks are things that happen on your React application. The number one hook we will be learning today is called the useState hook. The useState hook. And from last class, we'll be learning two hooks today, the useState hook and the useEffect hook today. When I teach you, tomorrow we'll now go further. What can I use as a perfect example to teach useState hook? Okay, let me use this. Now imagine you have a bag where you keep a lot of things inside the bag. But anytime you need something out of that bag, you can easily press a button. And when you press a button, it brings out something out of the bag, or you can put in something inside the bag. useState hook is actually a way we use in managing, storing, and dynamically changing data on our web application. Let me go over that again. I taught it on Thursday, but this is me recapping. useState hook is actually a way, it's an activity, it's a term that actually is being used to manage, to store, and dynamically change data on your web application. Did anyone get that? Is anyone confused?
Come again, sir, please.
Okay. useState hook is actually a way we use in managing, in storing, think of it, in storing and doing a whole lot on our React web application. So for instance, useState hooks actually allows you to add data, add state to functional components. The useState hook actually allows you to store and manage data that changes over time in React. So anytime I tell you this data, please find a way to create a useState and then manage the data. All I'm telling you is I want you to be able to store and manage data because that data is something that will change over time. So anytime a data is to be changed over and over and over again, useState hook is being used for that. So let's do something. Let me clear this particular thing inside my return. Okay, let me import useState. So when you want to use the use states, you must first of all import it. So guys, you can see I've imported use states from React. Use state, I've imported it. If you don't import it, you cannot use it. Remember, it is a way for you to manage and store data in React. Now, this is our function. Remember, you must do the whole function thing, which we have already. Now, let me do something simple. So I would create a p tag. Let's just do something. And maybe I'll have something that counts numbers or increases numbers. So I'll come here. So I'll have here, I'll have count. Now, inside the function, inside my function, I'll declare a state variable. I'll declare a state variable and I would store an initial count of 0. So I'll come here and const um, now you'll use this button will be the one to increase the numbers. SP not defined how. Ooh. All right, so this is actually how the use states. Before I run my code, let me explain. Let me explain what is going on. So first of all, imagine you know the example I use, right? How you have a bag and then anytime you want something, you press that button and then it does this thing. That's how use state actually works. Now, first of all, you have your this is the count. The count is like the tool that will be used to either add something to the bag or remove something from the bag. This counts. It's like the tool that it's like what will be used to perform all of that. Now, going further, we have set count. If you watch well, when we declare this variable, we have set counts and set count. What is the set count going to do? The set count would be used to actually increase the things inside the bag. Let me use that word. To increase the things inside the bag. Then what is the use state in this particular scenario, the use state in this particular scenario is 0. The use state in this particular is 0 because everything would start from this point. So as you additionally trigger the count, it increases whatever is inside the bag. I know it's very okay for you to be confused. Don't worry. As we go on, you understand. So I would open my terminal and then let's run our code npm start. All right, so you can see we have a button. We have a count showing 0. So once I press on this button, increase button, you can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's increasing continuously. It's increasing. That's what use state is used for in React. Use state is used for in React to manage number 1, to store data number 2, to change data number 3, and to dynamically change data on the web application. That is what useState is all about. So whenever you hear the word useState or you are being told use a useState in this particular web app to manage the data you'll be given, just know that you are responsible for managing, you're responsible for storing data and then change it dynamically. I don't know if this makes sense. If you have questions, please, who has questions? Does anyone have any question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go on.
Okay. I want to ask, is it only number-related data that you make use of? Because the last time we talked about use state, you use a name and the email to give us as example. So I want you to explain using number and that of the one you use name and the email. Thank you.
You've answered it already. You can, as long as it's a data, numbers in this scenario is also a data. The email and name I used for the last class on Thursday is also a data. So any form of data at all, it's not static, it's dynamic. Do you understand? You've answered it yourself.
All right.
Are you still
All right.
confused?
Yes.
So
Okay,
as long as it's data, you can use the use state hook to actually manipulate it and do your thing. Who has questions again?
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Who has questions again?
Hello, sir. Please, I can't see the code.
You can't what?
The code, I can't see your, as in the code. I'm writing something, so I can't
Okay.
see.
Can you see it now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So who has questions? Okay. So tomorrow we will do use effects. Tomorrow we'll do use effect. We'll do use ref. We'll do use ref, use effects, and then we would make progress tomorrow. So who has questions? Okay, okay. So we'll call it a day today. We'll see tomorrow. The recordings will be available shortly. The recordings will be available shortly. Just ask if you also have questions. You can also ask in the group. Or we'll also answer you collectively. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will provide the recordings shortly after it's uploaded on YouTube. Thank you.
Attendance, sir.
Okay, that's true. Attendance. Let me log into the dashboard and open it. Just give me a second. Okay, attendance. Okay, attendance is now open. You can log in and then do your thing. Yeah, attendance is now open. Thank you.